Township Board of Education. Tom, will you call the roll?
Ms. Bowes. Mr. Caparata.
Here.
Mr. Clark. Ms. Evans.
Here.
Ms. Groger. Ms. Kelly.
Here.
Ms. Martinez.
Here.
Ms. Pasculi.
Here.
Mr. Van Hise.
Here.
You have a quorum?
Thank you. Tom, would you read the motion for executive session?
Certainly. This is the motion to move into executive session. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act authorizes the Board of Education to meet in executive session under certain circumstances, and whereas the Open Public Meeting Act requires the board to adopt a resolution at a public meeting to go into private session, now therefore be it resolved that the Lawrence Township Board of Education deems it necessary to meet in the executive session to discuss certain things involving, and as they're listed here, number one, matters of personal confidentiality rights, including but not limited to staff and or student discipline matters, and specifically a discussion of confidential student matter. Item number three, matters in which, if publicly disclosed, would constitute an unwarranted invasion of individual privacy, specifically HIB and an HIB hearing. And then finally, number seven, matters involving anticipated or pending litigation, including matters of attorney-client privilege and specifically a settlement. The board, be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential, will be made public as soon as feasible. The minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Further resolved that the board will return to open session to conduct business at the conclusion of the executive session. Formal action will not be taken in executive session, will it? Does anyone know? I believe it will not.
Oh,
Sorry?
formal action, no. Right? Yeah, you have to vote. Oh, yes, formal action will be taken.
It will be taken in this case. Okay, so formal action will be taken, and we expect to be in executive session for about 30 minutes. So you need a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Caparata?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Motion approved. We are in executive session.
Okay. public to advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. As required under the law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided via email and/or fax to the Times, the Trentonian, the Public Library, and has been filed with the municipal clerk. This notice was provided prior to the 48 hours required by the Open Public Meetings Act. The board reserves the right to limit public discussion of personnel items and other matters as defined in the law. Now have our flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we don't have a student representative. Recognition and acknowledgement. Adoption of the minute. Motion to adopt the executive session and regular session minutes from the July 8th board meeting.
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Caparata.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Kelly.
Yes.
Ms. Martinez.
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Superintendent's report.
All right, we're going to start, I think Ms. Giglio is in the audience with a brief LTEF grant presentation.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Bonnie Giglio. I'm the Executive Director of the Lawrence Township Education Foundation. I'm here tonight to present the LTPS Board of Education with a check for $32,500 to the Lawrence Township Public Schools thanks to a grant made possible by Bristol Myers Squibb. The LTF is proud and excited to be able to provide this grant funding for a wonderful community partner that we have a long-standing relationship with. Bristol Myers Squibb is a valued part of our town, and we cannot be more thrilled in the project that they've chosen to invest in. Okay, this grant has two distinct parts. $20,000 will fund the adoption of a hands-on kits associated with the new science curriculum program, Open SciEd. This is the model curriculum that the NJDOE recommends schools adopt for science instruction due to its strong alignment with the next generation science standards. And its inquiry-driven, phenomenon-based orientation of each unit of study within each grade level. The curriculum documents for this program are freely available. However, the kits that provide the hands-on learning experiences in each unit, so 4 units per grade, cost significant funding. The second part of the grant is a $12,500 for a social media, tech, and health STEAM symposium. This will be a Saturday morning district-wide event designed to strengthen mental health literacy, digital safety, STEAM awareness, and family engagement for all K-12 families, with a special focus on disadvantaged and vulnerable youth. This multi-hour symposium will feature keynote speakers, hands-on STEAM learning, student-led instruction, and community partnerships, including the Lawrence Township Police Department, local health organizations, nonprofit groups, teachers, administrators, and counselors. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I have the big check if you want to take one quick picture.
One quick for
One
BOE.
quick.
Ready? Everybody? You guys ready to go to the pit for the picture?
To the pit.
We just went shopping.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to call up Mrs. Musi. She's going to be doing our access testing presentation to the board.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I sent it to everybody. Presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to queue up her presentation. Do we have that?
It's coming hot off the press.
It's coming live in 2 seconds.
Apparently you have 3 minutes.
I'm thinking,
According to the big screen, you have 3 minutes. No pressure, Pete.
Send it diligently to us.
I'd wing it, but I'm afraid of getting the numbers.
You know what, I'm going to do my superintendent report while we're waiting. So as we prepare to welcome our students and families back for another school year, there's a tremendous amount of energy and excitement across Lawrence Township Public Schools. Our leadership team has been working hard preparing for the year ahead. In July, we spent 2 days together as a leadership team reflecting on the past year, planning for the future, and ensuring that our work is aligned with the goals and priorities that we're currently outlining in our new strategic plan, which will set forth the next 5 years for Lawrence Township. We will continue to work another 2 days next week talking about safety and security, diving into data, establishing timelines, and preparing to hit the ground running when our staff returns. We've had a successful summer of programming with opportunities ranging from Eagles and Summer Shines to extended school year services and a variety of enrichment and academic programs. These programs provide our students with opportunities to learn, grow, connect, and have fun with one another. We are so grateful for the staff that worked this summer and the administrators that made these experiences memorable and happy for our kiddos. This week, Lawrence Intermediate School is also welcoming our incoming 4th grade for its Jumpstart program. This is a wonderful opportunity for students to become familiar with their new school, meet staff and classmates, and begin to feel comfortable and confident with their transition to Lawrence Intermediate. There's a lot happening behind the scenes as we prepare for the 26-27 school year, including a lot of facilities and maintenance work. Our buildings are looking beautifully, and I'm incredibly proud of all of our staff. We can't wait to welcome our teachers back on August 26th. Thank you. Just in time for Ms. Musi. All right.
Perfect, okay. So, good evening, thank you. Annually, the report of the English Language Learning Assessment Access must be delivered to the board, and so that's what tonight is. Across the country, the WIDA Consortium is the premier organization for English language learners, multilingual students. WIDA is now actually the hub for 42 out of 50 states. The original WIDA Consortium started about 23 years ago and only had 3 states. So you can see it, how much it grew tremendously. What 3 states started WIDA? You probably know, you guys. Wisconsin.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
It came out of Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Delaware, Arkansas, and that's where the name WIDA comes from, which is kind of an interesting fun fact. But now it's 42 states. All New Jersey public schools are legally obligated to identify students who are in need of language assistance from 3 to 21. does not matter where they were born. If we are educating them and we assess English language skills, we will definitely be teaching them. We use all of those assessments, the access for MLs, the kindergarten access, which is a totally different assessment, and the alternate access for MLs, ELLs that have IEPs. Testing begins in late winter and early spring. Basically, we usually start around the beginning of March, and by spring break, all the tests are being returned to Wisconsin. And we know that these are the levels of our English language learners. The WIDA actually assess speaking, listening, reading, and writing, and those are the levels. We need to get our students to just at that 5, 4.5 is our goal at all times. And it's a very, very rigorous and ambitious goal. We have many of our students who are entering to our school districts at a 1 coming from other countries. We've had a real uptick in children who are arriving not only just as English language learners, but who have come to our district from, rough circumstances, lots of places around the globe. So that's where we're aiming for. And this year, 228 students took the access test, and 14.5 earned a 4.5 or above. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, that doesn't look so good, right? But I'm going to remind you, last year I stood in front of you and I gave you those numbers, and 6% last year scored 4.5. So we are definitely making some progress, and there are some things that are really, really exciting. One thing, unbelievably strong performance out of kindergarten. Last year we talked about what will our new preschool program mean to our English language learners as they're entering kindergarten. Well, we had some really strong scores. Also, it's been great, all of a sudden really strong from 4th and 5th grade. We're doing a lot of different things at LIS. We're approaching that program in a very different way, and we're starting immediately to see some of the growth. Shout out to kindergarten. As I said, listening is the strongest domain. And just like, we look at our babies, and in order to get them to walk, they have to crawl, they have to go through all the steps. That's the same as learning English. We need them to listen, to have that receptive language so that they can grow. 75% of our students are in kindergarten are reaching that, proficient, rate. But where we really need to grow, once we're listening, we're gaining language, it's the reading and writing. The reading and writing is, as you can imagine, very, very rigorous. So we know where we're going. Wait, I just skipped. It's also really important to know that this year we had 30 kids on that bubble. Some of them were 4.3 or 4.4, and that was 13% that were capable with just a little more time and a little more of that intentional instruction to be able to move up. I did want to shout out with these numbers. For a long time, we've had a lot of our staff and our ESL teachers in district for a while, but now I really feel we have 7 teachers who are not only very well educated, well certificated, they are truly invested in what's happening with our multilingual population in Lawrence. They work together as a group collaboratively from K to 12. They go to PD together. They share research. They share ideas. I feel like this is a team that is really going to get us where we need to go. I do wish that I could share our SLA scores for our MLs, but we don't have SLA scores yet. So the night that the rest of Mr. Desai's department is sharing the SLA scores, this will probably be in that presentation. We're saying we have definitely developed those strong receptive language skills. The next stage is really growing confidently to communicate through academic thinking and speaking and writing. So all of those things have to happen. We say, how does that happen? Well, we give kids things to talk about. We give things, kids things to write about. These are some photos from the Summer Eagles program. We had about 60 kids every day at Ben Franklin. They participated in a ton of hands-on learning that was followed with reading and writing. And when you give kids a lot to talk about, they're able to contribute into the conversations. And just so you know, this year, of those 228 students who took the access, 26 different languages. So from 26 different places. And again, just average across, and remember, average, we have kindergarten in that score as well as seniors in high school, but our listening score was a 4.74, which is really tremendous. And then from there, you know, our reading was a 3.44, writing was about a 3.0. So, you know, you can see where it's really, you know, more challenging for our kids. But we talked last year about following that first cohort of preschool students. You know, they were in kindergarten last year. We see their results. They'll be in first grade this year. And as we continue to see how they're doing as they grow in, you know, their English. We had a lot of kids who did score out. That would have been a 5.0. The hardest thing when you say like how many of the 228, you know, we have kids that have been in the program for 3-4 years. We also have kids who have been in the program for a year. Or we have newcomers that have just arrived. Like, again, the rules of the testing is you're getting there within, you test, like, you know, welcome to the United States, and here you go, we got a test for you. But, you know, again, if you've seen the, and again, I'd be happy, I guess next year I'll do a test. It's a rigorous test, and when we talk about first graders, they're doing more work on the access test than really their grade level content knowledge. Go ahead, Pepper.
I'm wondering if the kids are grouped by ability or age or grade.
They take a test by grade. So the kindergarten test is actually a lot of hands-on, comes in this like huge box, but the kindergarten is really one-on-one. So it shuts down instruction for a couple of weeks as teachers are doing it one-on-one. The assessment for speaking is done into a microphone, into the computer, and it's scored by WIDA. So we're not, you know, like they're getting that real feedback. But then, you know, the first graders have a certain test. It's all different materials. I think are not disappointing, I don't want to say, but what was really, really challenging is when you are a newcomer and you're entering school at like 10th grade. Really just challenging. You're taking, you know, grade level biology and grade level English while you're learning English as well. So again, great team, teacher working at the high school is doing some really creative stuff. We ran a Summer Eagles program that was an online program for our secondary folks, and they were online with the teacher every single day. We had our hands-on with the young guys. Next year, we're going to expand into a different summer program. So that is the state of our English language learning assessment.
Thank you, Mrs. Boozy.
First of all, I just wanted to thank you. I've seen this a few years, and the context you provided was something I've asked for, and I really, really appreciate it. And you gave a lot of color to the different programmatic aspects, and I think just hope considerations for moving forward is like real tracking numbers of those preschools. So something we've talked about is, what I loved is that you were talking about the progress and not guessing. And so thinking about how we can see the numbers from year to year and compare to students who, and also maybe thinking about the actions we're taking for students who aren't exiting out of the program. For context for my next comment, when a student reaches 5.0, they are no longer taking access, but they still are considered multilingual learners for purpose of NJSLA.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and for some of our kids, they're no longer taking access. They may be, you know, released from daily services, but they're still getting support within their classroom.
and it's still something we're tracking. So one curiosity I have is nationally, students who have exited recently out of multilingual learners typically outscore their peers. And so I'd be curious if that's something we're seeing, especially the preschool kids.
Again, preschool is still like a little, like we're still getting our way.
Well, yeah, and there's no standardized testing.
But it's even funny, it's a hard thing because remember, preschool doesn't have ESL services. So it's immersive, like, and some kids are like, if they hadn't gone to preschool, would they have entered kindergarten and ended up testing into ESL? But now they don't. We don't know,
Yeah.
who. But also, Mr. Desai and I were talking about kids whose parents, they're very clear, they want their child to be bilingual. So in coming to school, they speak English at school, like Spanish at home, Ukrainian at home. So that's another piece of it. So there's it's the same old thing, every kid has their own story.
Right.
Every ESL kid has their own story.
And
But
that's
I
the
think
rules.
tracking is going to be, I'm kind of excited in lots of ways, math, reading, writing, to see this preschool cluster begin to kind of develop their skills.
But I'm curious why we don't talk about the English language proficiency metric. So I think it's helpful to have an average and no 4.5, but the kids wouldn't be in the program if they were scoring 5. So I think the English language proficiency score shows from year to year progress. And I think that is really helpful it must come by October. And so if it's possible to look at that and see where there are gaps, and I know how we study other assessments for proficiency, looking at grade levels, where there are students who aren't progressing from year to year. And it's not a perfect metric, but it does tell a little more, and it complements your already increasing context, which I appreciate, and would love to see where we are seeing students progressing from year to year and where they're not, in what grades and what classrooms.
And it's so unique. There's all different circumstances, And I always get a kick out of when, at June, when they publish the top 10 students of the graduating class, I always circle who was an English language learner, and we usually have 3 or 4 that started in Lawrence with no English and ended up being a top 10 scholar when they're graduating. So it's great work, and I was really happy because I know I stood here last year, you probably remember, showing the 6% was so 14 is not
but that's why they're in the
fantastic,
program.
but it's better than 6.
And can we do a plug for Seal of Biliteracy, since we have these wonderful students and an investment for them?
We do. Our Seal of Biliteracy program is fantastic, and I think last year, how many did we award last year? It was, 50 different kids, different backgrounds.
Can we aim for 228 in the next 10 years? I mean, if our kids, if we have this many students coming with a wealth of language, they should be graduating with a seal that shows their proficiency in both languages.
That's a good goal.
Jean, how are the changes in our immigration impacting our kids coming in?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see our numbers next year, because we are seeing, families are not arriving. I mean, we can speak to that. I mean, they're just not. The thing that is more disheartening is our kids who disappear. They were in school and they were doing great, and now they're just gone. So we'll see. Hopefully, and again, conflicts. We have, I was telling Mr. Desai, we have more kids coming from different areas of Africa, and then you have a single student who speaks a single, language. We have conflict kids coming from the Middle East. And so again, it's a lot to say, welcome to Lawrence, sit down and start working. These kids are, have a lot of baggage when they arrive. We'll see, to be continued on that.
Thank you for all the work you do for our kids.
Thank you.
You have more? Nope. Any more on the superintendent? Okay, board secretaries report?
I think you're going to hear the sentiment. I'm going to echo what Jean said, and I will not steal Paul's thunder because he has the Finance Committee report. But I think if you look at Paul's report and you put it in context, you're going to find that we delivered. The results are there, and they're there for your eyes to see, that we're preparing for the future at almost every turn with what you're doing on the agenda tonight, and that we have never stopped making sure that we're ready to keep delivering with our redundancies. So we talk about results. You can go to any one of our schools and you'll see for your eyes those things that we promise people at Slackwood, at Eldridge Park, at the intermediate school, at LES, at Ben Franklin. You will find every single school where you can find that the promises that we made for the referendum, or outside of the referendum for that matter, are there. I believe that we'll have a PowerPoint for you on Slackwood coming, and I found the one we did only 18 months ago at this board meeting to say the investments we made at Slackwood. I did find it, by the way, and I'll send it to you so that we can add on to that. Some things about preparing for the future. Better than 24 months ago, we were preparing for the future. Right now on this agenda, you're preparing for the future again by making deposits into your capital reserve and your maintenance reserve to give you the ability to move one way or the other, depending on what a presentation like Jean said happens, so that if we have to invest more over here or over there, we can. So that's on the agenda tonight, and you'll see that in the way of reserves. You'll see that in the modifications to the long-range facilities plan. And you'll also see it in Paul's report with respect to the demographic study that we're doing, looking out into the future. With efficiencies and effectiveness, you'll see some things in the agenda today, but you'll also hear some things that Paul will talk about regards cross-training. Nothing is dependent upon one person. We have about 3 people in payroll. We're building a bench there. We have 4 people that know how to do registrations. Now, nobody is as good as the other, of course, but we can fill in for one another. And the same thing in transportation. The reason I say that is because it's important that we carry on what we're doing, and so Paul might talk about some of those things. You'll also see what we're looking to do with respect to effectiveness and efficiencies, whether that's through arbiter pay on the agenda or through GoFan, that not only helps us with efficiencies but identifies safety protocols for who may visit our games. You'll see that in our security protocols for the gatekeeper, but you'll also see it in the connections meetings, such that when Jill, I think, is sending out the agenda for 2 weeks from now so that we keep that going. And in the past, we've invited anyone to come and sit in on those meetings, and I absolutely invite anybody to be there to see what we do. And so those are just some of the things on the agenda that Paul's going to report on. He's going to report on what we're doing. I wanted to tell you why we're doing it, so that not only are we delivering on what we promised, but we're actually preparing for the future. And it's a wonderful thing to see the principals' eyes light up when they find that you didn't forget them when you're going to deliver on the promises for Miss Latimer and do things that she needs done to make her building ready for her kids. So at any time, please stop by and I'll expand on that, but otherwise I won't steal your thunder. Did I thread that needle okay?
Very, very well,
Good.
absolutely.
All right.
Context is everything.
There you
Thanks,
go.
Tom. I'm filling in for Michelle, so I'll give the Board Vice President report. There's no shortage of activity happening throughout Lawrence Township Public Schools. We continue to see significant progress on the many projects made possible through our $98 million referendum, and it's exciting to see these plans becoming a reality throughout the district. I had the pleasure of getting firsthand looks at several of these projects when I went on a road trip or two with Tom, and we went around the district for a tour. We tested out the new ramp at Slackwood. We saw the accessible bathroom at Lawrence Intermediate School and the auditorium renovation at Lawrence Middle School, which is nearing completion, and one of the many new preschool playgrounds that's taking shape across the district. While we see the big projects taking shape, I also want to take a moment to recognize and thank everyone who's working behind the scenes to make sure our schools are ready to open their doors to our students on September 1st. There's so much that happens behind the scenes to prepare for a new school year, from getting our buildings and grounds ready to technology, transportation, food services, registration, scheduling, classroom preparation, maintenance, cleaning, and countless other details that most of us never see. It truly takes an incredible team of people working together throughout the summer to make this magic happen. As a board, we are incredibly grateful to all the staff members who are putting in the time and effort now to ensure that when our students walk through those doors on September 1st, everything is ready for them. There's a lot to be excited about as we head into the new school year, and I look forward to seeing our schools come alive again with our students and staff. Liaison committee reports, Arundel's not here. Student board member. Lawrence Township Education Foundation we had. Lawrence Township Growth and Redevelopment.
Did not have a quorum at the last meeting, so we didn't hold a meeting.
Oh,
Summer.
we have a reconfiguration report? No. Okay. And no student services report. Okay, review of communication?
I do have.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
she's
sorry.
covering for Arundel.
I don't have.
sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go first.
Breeze through it.
The LTF has been hard at work preparing for the upcoming school year. The LTF had a wonderful 25-26 school year. We were able to give out over $82,000 for 52 grants in all 7 public schools in the district. They range from small grants to help outfit individual classrooms with the new tech and books to school-wide projects that brought new technology, art projects, and school-wide assemblies. We are welcoming 4 new board members this year, and we have a full first half of the year plan already. The full grant portal is open now, and the full grants will be due November 2nd. We're extending the cycle by a month to give teachers more time to prepare their ideas and apply for the grants. Our first event will be the second annual fun run being held on Saturday, September 5th at 9 o'clock at Village Park. We will also be running Super 50-50 again this year. Purchase a ticket for a chance to win up to $10,000 at any of the back-to-school nights. And save the date for the 50th annual handbag bingo, which will be held Friday, November 13th. Thanks.
Thank you. Mackenzie?
And I have the student services report. So we met on August 4th. In attendance were Vanessa Bakarsiak, Arndal Clark, and myself, Mackenzie Kelly. Highlights from this meeting include that we discussed our open positions. So new staff has joined the district this summer, filling the vacancies for leave of absence position, an occupational therapist position, 2 nurses, school psychologists, a BCBA, multiple teachers, and multiple assistants. 2 positions remain open for candidates to fill, which is a nurse and an LDTC. We discussed a college boot camp that took place last week, actually on the 4th, held here at the high school with 80 students who were registered. The course or the boot camp is designed to help our seniors prepare for their application process. They were able to engage in activities such as completing their Common App and working on their brag sheets. So really exciting there. We also discussed closing out the extended school year. It ended just last week. We want to give a shout out to all of our teachers and say thank you so much for the warm welcome to our students and encouraging them through their summer learning. Next, an assessment will be made to see what adaptations we can consider for our program next year. Finally, the Writer House, we discussed updates there. We're currently in the contract phase, maintaining its anticipated January 2027 start. Discussions are being finalized with conditional items being worked out. More information will come later in the later months.
Thank you. Do we have communications to review? No. This is our first opportunity for public input. Here we go. Longtime member of LTEF and former LTEF president.
Is that all?
Proud father of 3 Lawrence Township Public School grads, all flourishing as adults.
Designer of the
Oh, yeah.
LTPS
Hey,
local business owner, all right?
Yeah.
Logo and the LTEF logo. I've been up and down the street for quite a while. I'm Paul Schindel, and all of those things that Pepper said are true. I am...
All right, you only get 3 minutes, Paul, so maybe 3.5 since we kept you waiting.
You did. So I'm here today to sort of put on the record some communication I had with Dr. Klim regarding the incredible backlog of traffic that lines up at each of our 7 schools every afternoon. Estimating between 40 and 80 cars and SUVs lined up at each school. That's 280 to 560 cars per day, and they're all idling. And that's against the law. there is a law in New Jersey that limits idling to 3 minutes. Now, we cannot very readily tell people, no, 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 you can't do that, but we can educate them. This is about education, right? So we can educate them on what the law is and some of the benefits of turning their cars off, not the least of which are 2 facts that are part of the message. One of which is that kids breathe about 50% more air than adults per pound, and so the exhaust that they are breathing is that much more damaging, not to mention damage to the rest of us, and the fact that turning your car off actually also saves money because it costs much less to restart your car. The facts I have here say that 10 seconds of idling uses more fuel than restarting the engine. So with that in mind, we've already talked about getting some communication out, and I've spoken to Ms. Baldessari, who is putting some stuff out, I understand, to the parents. I have taken the opportunity to rough out some designs for possible signs that might be used. I'm happy to donate these designs to the district and to help with production of them as well. And I actually have some copies of this for. I don't know that I have enough for everyone, but
Thank you.
I do want to make note of this is the sign that the state issues, which is like a case history in how bad communication can be, and how poor the messaging can be. The alternatives to that, and I'll spare you the whole rundown, but something like this gives folks an opportunity to learn what's going on, learn the benefits, and hopefully take some action to turn off their cars. I'll make a note as well that this has more content than a typical sign should, but we have the benefit of a stationary audience and flowing past these signs. So the hope is that they will see them, take heed of them, and turn their cars off and let us all breathe freely. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Okay, let's see. We have no board discussion and work session, but we have board discussion and action items. Personnel committee, are you giving that report? Mackenzie.
So the Personnel Committee met July 30th at 8:15. In attendance were Dr. Klim, Sean Fry, Vanessa Pekarsiak, Michelle Bose, Arndell Clark, Joanne Groger, and myself, Mackenzie Kelly. At this meeting, we kicked off discussing conversations around rebalancing workload of the supervisors. That discussion stemmed from reflections on our upcoming grade level reconfigurations as we move forward with the referendum. We will be also recommending Lawrence Middle School math and a Lawrence High School physics position on this agenda. We have vacancies for Slackwood for a nursing position, as I mentioned earlier, the LDTC, as well as preschool positions at Slackwood and Ben Franklin, and a 5th grade position at LIS. We are interviewing, or in the process of interviewing for these positions, and will continue to fill these vacancies with our awesome staff, if that hasn't been done so already. On tonight's agenda, you will also see a revised calendar for the 26-27 school year. Additionally, we discussed policies 3214 and 4214. They have been approved based on our review. You will also find approvals for salary adjustments, subs for teacher assistants, nurses, security guards, buildings and grounds personnel. You also see several substitute positions listed for the 26-27 school year, along with several certified and non-tenured staff, transfers, leave replacements, mentors, leave of absences, payments for unused sick and vacation days, volunteers, student technicians, jumpstart program staff, and staff for the World Peace Games, all in the items that I'll move in just a moment. You will also see appointments due to background clearances, a few corrections, a termination as well. Finally, I'd like to recognize the retirement of Mark Kramer. He has dedicated 21 years towards educating our students here in Lawrence. We appreciate him and wish him a happy and healthy retirement. With that, I'd like to move P1 through P43, please.
Second?
With a motion and a second, Tom?
Mr. Caparata?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Mr. Van Heist?
Yes.
Motion carried.
CIAPD?
The CIPD met on July 28th at 8 a.m. In attendance was myself, Michelle Bowes, Pepper Evans, Joanne Groger, Dr. Klim, Agneta Pardo, and Mr. Neil Desai. We reviewed several key instructional and organizational priorities, including new preschool report cards, which are meant to align with the new upper grade report cards that's coming out this fall, so I think with more communication, and the new staff orientation schedule, and we discussed in depth the strategic plan and that progress and all the hard work that went into the leadership sessions over the summer and thoughtfulness, taking in the stakeholder feedback throughout the spring and really digesting it in a meaningful way to set us up. So we also discussed feedback on conflict of interest policy 3214 for the first reading, and discussed our progress towards district and superintendent goals, as well as setting up for the Welcome to the Neighborhood Family event, which is scheduled for Tuesday, September 8th at Lawrence High School. So that's exciting, and I know we just got another communication about that. Our next CIPD meeting will be Tuesday, September 8th, and we have some motions. So I'd like to make a motion for OIS, motion to approve of travel log, as well as you'll see non-public aid allocations and submission for Elementary and Secondary Education Act, ESEA, grant applications, as well as the motion to approve and accept the New Jersey High Impact Tutoring Grant. And well, I'll make a statement after the end of it. And then also OSS 1 through 7, and that you'll see there the non-public nursing grants, pass-through fundings, as well as out-of-district placement information, and the submission of the IDA grant to accept the funds from the NJDOE for the following amounts there. So did I summarize those correctly?
Second?
Thank you.
With a motion and a second, Tom?
And, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Want me to do it? Yeah, okay. So, Mr. Caparata?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Abstain?
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Mr. Van Heist?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Diana, did you have something you
I'll
wanted?
save it for new business
Okay.
as a follow-up to those, if that's okay.
Okay. Finance Committee, Paul?
Thanks. Finance Committee took place on August 5th, 2026. In attendance was Pepper Evans, chairperson, myself, Paul Caparata, Mr. Arundel Clark, Neil Desai, Jill Ubry, did I say that right? Close enough, right. And Tom Eldridge, hopefully to do Tom and Pepper credit for the context that Tom had put forward in terms of all the exciting things. Kevin, Diana, you missed a doozy of a meeting, so hopefully I can be fastidious, but at the same time I could move things forward. So first, to reiterate the goals obviously associated around what we are trying to do in the Finance Committee to implement cohesive, data-driven instructional leadership, a unified professional development vision, and to establish parent engagement and learning opportunities. The events having taken place started with the LMS construction. As Tom had mentioned before, this is a multi-phased approach, and everything is looking to be on time. The initial core phase, obviously being the renovations and the additions. The secondary, the ball stopping system related to field lighting, and those two separate bids, which are looking to be targeted for September. The new turf field, the new parking lots, the repaving of the main parking lot, and of course the field house. This is all part of the multi-phased approach that is aligned with the main programs going on. The demographer transportation study is under attorney review and looking for to be bid within the next 10 days or so. You had heard mention about the rider contract before. That is under rider's attorney review right now. All of the fantastic upgrades that were referred to earlier today are almost complete at this point, and excited to see all of that in motion. In terms of the lavatory project, a meeting was held with the contractor on August 4th, and so looking forward to the continued evolution of that project in the near future. Deposits into reserve, which are in part of the BOE agenda. We are increasing the amount previously approved to be deposited. In terms of the long-range facilities plan update, which is also on the 812 BOE agenda, adding LHS and LIS roofs to the existing plan. As far as the 2025-2026 audit, the first meeting with the new auditor has been executed. LDS, the team have been working on book closings for the 25-26 year, and that is in process right now. There was mentioning, obviously, earlier about high-impact tutoring and the RFP, which is also is part of the agenda. For operational sustainability, you had heard Tom mention bench building. Obviously, there's a number of different roles that are in the mix as far as that, in terms of iteration of receptionist, payroll, purchasing, child nutrition, and registration. These are all in the mix as well, too, for the motions we'll be talking about. Arbiter pay. Officials will be paid moving forward with a third-party payment service in order to optimize and create additional efficiencies. In terms of electronic timesheets, the project, which has been in the mix for the last 2 years, is now in motion, and the idea is to be expanded to reduce paperwork and to increase efficiency. Also, a mention was made about electronic ticketing. Beyond being an electronic ticketing service, this also allows school store implementation and fundraising. The district will be using electronic ticketing and platform system, which should also provide a number of other additional options for people to be able to have faster access to ticketing. And I think that is as quickly as I could go through everything that we talked about. And with that in mind, I would like to make a motion to pass SBM 1 through 11.
Second?
With a motion and a second, Tom?
Mr. Caparata?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Motion carried.
New business, is that you, Mackenzie?
Public input.
Oh, what? Second opportunity for public input. Okay. Had to do it right. Mackenzie, is that you doing the new business?
No, I didn't get one.
Okay. Kevin, why don't you jump in?
Oh, okay, new business items. I'm trying to remember what we had on there. We had moves, mentorships, substitute teachers, transportation contracts. I think what else, other highlights that we had on here. Mentorships, lunchroom assistants. What?
Jen? Oh, that's the end. It's not new business? It's new business.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was saying that was a highlight.
Okay, we're very well prepared this evening.
That's so exciting.
We have some moves for maintenance reserves, some of the contracts for school improvements. Let's see. Other staffing purposes. Let's see. Job description changes and some moves for, what is these, title changes? All right. What are you talking about?
The last
We'll pull it out.
Okay. Just to approve Jen to work additional hours?
That's what you were mentioning,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Oh, okay.
exciting for all of the hard work she does.
Oh,
We're just double endorsing Ms. Baldessari.
oh, okay. I didn't know that was a big deal.
was me
I
trying to
understand that there's a preview coming up next meeting for like job change or title change. But, okay.
I'll go home now.
So Jen, you get to work more. Yay. So with that, I'll move NB 1 through NB 37.
Second.
With a motion and a second?
Mr. Caparata?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in
Wasn't
favor?
there something you wanted to say, or are you? Okay.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.